Hey guys, and welcome to another news video in this series. I go over the news that the developers give us over the course of a week. Today there's not much in the way of news, and I'm also doing this live because I tried doing PvP, and if you have ever done PvP, you know how ridiculously broken it is, and this week I just could not get it to work. So it's going to be live, but I guess it's going to help out because I can show off some stuff. So let's get into first the news. There's not much. There's only one thing that they ever mentioned this week besides a bombshell, which I'll let you guys know in a second, even though probably everybody already knows about it. So also keep that in mind. If you don't want to hear somebody complain when you already hear everybody else complaining, you can leave after I go over the news portion. But let's get into it. So basically all they showed today was the power level, a ripoff, but the power level is basically going to just pull all of your stats into one thing. So you're still going to keep your XP level. There's going to be no more gear level, though. Basically, all of your gear, your ally, your emblems, your flask, your mastery, that gives you, percentage damage and percentage health and all that stuff, and like the dragons that give you stats. Basically, everything is going to be pulled into one universal level that give you stats. So anything that gives you stats will be pulled into one universal level. So, and then that's going to affect a sigil that you're going to get. So they added a new sigil, and basically the inside of the sigil is going to be bronze, silver, and gold, and it's going to dictate how much stats you have on your character, depending on your power level. The higher your power level, the closer it is going to get to the next rank, I guess you could say, like gold, silver, bronze. And other players can actually see this. It's going to be next to your name when you look at other players. So if I look down there, well, I can't see his name. But if I come over here, we got Alex the Mudkips. Say he has average gear, he's silver. It would say right here, if you can see my cursor next to his name, it'll be a silver sigil. And I can see, he has average gear. So maybe if he wanted to join some groups, he can join, everything up to maybe Hard Dollar Moon. And then after that, I know he probably just can't handle the content. So it's kind of the inspect feature a little bit. I'm assuming they're still going to add an inspect feature later on down the line, but it's something. And then there's another thing that they kind of just ripped off was the border around it. It's basically just a rip from Diablo 3. If you guys know the Paragon levels from Diablo 3, it's going to be your mastery level. So basically, the higher the mastery you are, the cooler the outside of the sigil is going to look. And that'll dictate your mastery level to other players as well, besides just the gold name. As you can see, I'm 291, so I would have like the max outside sigil border, but I won't have a yellow name. So people will know, I'm in between 290 and 300, so I'm close to it. And stuff like that. So that's the sigil part. It doesn't really add anything. It literally is just pulling everything that you already own into one pull, so it doesn't add anything. But just the number doesn't add anything. But they're going to unlock stuff with the power level. So the higher your power level, the more stuff you'll unlock, including new abilities plus new zones. So these zones are Sky Realm zones, in quotations, of other biomes. So the ones that they showed was the Undead Sky Realm, and it was basically the Undead biome with just no floor, and they're also going to have unique features or like modifications. So the one that they went in, which kind of sucks that they shoved that on stream, right? But the one that they went in was the empty one that only has mobs every 30 blocks or whatever they spawn. They have that set spawn. It was literally just those mobs. And then they talked about a couple different ones. There will be one where it's just the Shadow Invaders, which are the giants that invade you. It would be just, a world full of those guys, kind of like the Sky Giants. It'll be like that, they're spread out between the different platforms. There's one where it's going to be a lot of ore. There's going to be more than normal ore. I don't know how much ore, but it'll be like an ore world. And then they have one which they said is going to add new items to the game, the new shinies, which I'm assuming is just, new crafting materials to get the items that we have now higher level, like, the new radiant crafting materials. I don't know what it's going to be, but basically that's it. So there's that, and that was it. And as if you have a little common sense and you've been listening, you would realize that what's being added, let me tell you, nothing. Nothing is new. So I don't know if the developers know this, but to keep players playing your game, you have to actually add something new. You can't just take everything you already own and just label it a different name. It doesn't work like that. So basically, they're just, it's dungeons. We're still just going to be doing dungeons the entire time. So I guess that kind of ties into today's video once again. Like I already talked about the broken PvP earlier, and now we have, you know, again, reused content, just like the entire game is. And then now we can get into the good stuff, I guess you can say. And again, forewarning, this is not going to be nice towards the developers, obviously. This is not... If you agree with this, I would leave because, one, you're blind, and you just... That's all I'll say. I'm not going to go too harsh on you, but one, you're blind, and two, you're just going to disagree when there's nothing to disagree about, so you might as well just not even try. So let's get into it. So this is, I'll link it down below. There was a forum post by Avram, you know, the executive, whatever, producer, whatever you want to call him, the executive dude, in Trion for Trove. He posted a forum post on the official forum, so I'll link it down below, and it's listing the new changes coming to the store. And I don't know if they're coming this Tuesday or in 2 weeks, but they're coming soon. And I'll admit, when I first read this, I didn't think anything about it until I got further down the thing, so bear with me the entire time. Trust me. So first, they're changing qubits. Everything has to do with the store too, just remember that. So first, they're changing qubits. First, they go on to say, as any dedicated player can tell you, you can definitely buy everything you need and have qubits to spare. As a dedicated player that plays this game every single day, I can tell you that's not the case, but we'll move on. Unless you played from Alpha and you never spend all your qubits, then that's the case, yes. But not what they're saying. So there's that. In addition, those initial buys, fast mounts, better wings, can happen pretty fast for what would be considered at a minimum a mid-game unlock. As a result, we're making 3 changes. So that, I was like, okay, whatever. So the first change, for fewer initial qubits. So new players are going to need to spend some time unlocking those first fast mounts and wings. First, again, I didn't think anything of this, and this is actually one of the big parts that's going to tie in a little later, is this first bullet. Next is higher qubit cost per item in the store. So they said that, you know, they're pulling all the cheap mounts. That's for a reason. They're both old and cheap for what they want things to be. So they're going to raise the price of everything in the store that includes qubits. So you're going to have to farm some more qubits if you want to unlock something. And then the last thing was additional worthwhile repeatable purchases. So they're going to be adding in style unlockers for qubits again, which I am in love with because those used to be available back in alpha and I think early beta, and they took them out. But I'm glad those are going to be back in. So I was actually loving it at this point, that they're adding in the new qubit things, or the style unlockers for qubits, and they're going to add some more qubit stuff too. But then you go down in classes. This is what everybody's upset about, and I could agree with them, but I don't think this is the worst part, but we'll get into it, and I'll give you my opinion as we go. So classes. We want to spend more time making our classes really amazing and have deeper progression and powers. As a result, we've turned down the rate at which we, you know, they're just saying what we already know. They're going to make classes at a less rate than they used to. They used to do them once a month, and now they're not going to do that anymore. But then we get down below. Specifically, they will no longer be available for qubits. This change is going to help us continue make the investment in our existing classes without feeling a need to roll out new classes at a rapid pace. Keep in mind that there will still be ways to unlock additional classes beyond your first, including a class coin if you support the game at any amount, so minimum $5. You have to pay $5 at minimum to get this class coin that they're mentioning. The next one is through Mastery, so you get 1 through Mastery, which pretty much everyone will get. So that's one free coin, and then you can get one from being referred. So if you're below Mastery Rank 20, if you don't know, you can be referred through Refer a Friend, and you get a class coin once you hit Mastery Rank 20. If you're above Mastery Rank 20, you're screwed. And also, they never make this abundantly clear in the game. The only way anyone even knows that Refer a Friend exists is through forums, if they read forums or like they're active in the community. If you're just starting up the game, you have no idea about the Refer a Friend bonus because it doesn't tell you anywhere in the game. So you get 1 class coin for free. We'll just say that because we're talking as a new player right now. This change does not affect me. We're talking as a new player right now. You'll get 1 free class coin after your first free class. So new players, they get 2 free classes from now on. They can't ever get another class for free. There is, however, class coins, which everybody knows about. You can get a class coin. However, you get class coins only by paying real money. So somebody has to pay real money to get the class coin. So no matter what, they're making money off of new classes because you can only buy classes with credits now, no longer qubits. And if you want a class coin, you're going to have to buy it from somebody that actually paid the money. So no matter what, if a new class comes out, it's just profit. Nothing, like no questions asked. So you might think, well, someone could just farm the flux for class coins. So let's look at class coins real quick. class coins. 120,000 flux. Again, doesn't affect me. I can make that easily. I think I even have more than that in my inventory. Yeah, I have 220k just in my inventory in make flux tanks. Plus I have, you know, some everywhere else, but, you know, it doesn't affect me. But a new player, think as a new player. This is what the change is for. It's for new players. It's to make their life easier, right? So they have to farm 120,000 flux if they want 3 classes. There's 14 classes right now. So they're going to have to farm up over 1 million flux, almost 2 million flux to unlock all the classes. That's what you got to think about. A new player has to farm 2 million flux for new classes or they can't get them all. And people are taking this for granted that won't agree with me. And it's you know, either farm 2 million flux, which most players will never be able to do, or you pay them real money. Those are the only 2 options you have. Nothing else. There's no other option. Okay, so there's that. So that's the class stuff. Again, I don't know. I just tend to check my tab. Again, we'll go back up to the qubits part as well. New players are going to tend to spend some time unlocking those first fast mounts and wings, so you can't even get a mount or a wing until you spend at least a month's worth of time getting your qubits bar done, because a mobility, a mount is 10k, and I'm assuming they're going to rise that, and wings are 20k, and again, they said they're going to rise that. So it's going to take you 1 month just to get an appropriate mount through qubits or wings. Of course, there's easy ones you can farm, like you can farm some easy mounts, like adventure box mounts are easy to get. Those are easy options. But just specifically talking about qubits, it's going to take new players a month to get a mount, another month and a half to get wings, and then another month to get 1 more class, and then another, you know, actually, I haven't gone over that yet. Let's get down there. So let's talk about Patreon, which in my opinion is the worst. So Patreon is a great ongoing way for us to give you value and you guys support the game. You can see I have Patreon. I always have Patreon, but I buy it through Flux. And it is a great value. It's an amazing value. It's supposed to be, or else it wouldn't be profitable, right? So it is, yes, it is a great value. So we're going to rely, or going forward, we're going to rely on it more. We're going to add more value to it and probably even require it to access some systems or features. We're also going to start promoting it more in the HUD and in the in-game store. We've opted to build up Patreon since it's already quite valuable and something that is being used by most, if not all, our supporters. Yes. So, again, thinking as a new player, this doesn't affect me. I can buy one right now. Again, doesn't affect me. Let's look at Patreon Pass. Oops, Patreon Pass. 270,000 flux. What new player is going to have 270,000 flux? And they're going to require you to have it to access new systems and features. Meaning, maybe the new Shadow Tower boss that they're coming out with, or a new class, you have to have Patreon, or you can't access that new boss. You can't access new class. You can't go to the Starlight biome. Stuff like that. You can't go to the power level biomes that we were just talking about, because you have to have Patreon to do that. So, no new player is ever going to be able to do anything in this game, because you either have to pay money or you have to farm a ridiculous amount of flux to be able to get to it. Like, imagine when you first started the game. Did you have 270k within the first month or the first couple months? Like, it's just not possible for a new player because they have no idea how to do that. And it's just, that's what we're talking about right now. Talking about the new player experience. If you're not a new player, this is still a bad update just because it doesn't affect you. This update does nothing for me, because I can already buy this stuff myself. That doesn't make it not a bad update, just because, like, you can't think selfishly like that. So that's my gripe with it. Like, honestly, there's so many other people that complain about it even more, so you can go listen to them instead. I don't want to go too long about it. I just want to give my opinion and let the developers know that you guys are idiots. Like, you just buried your own game in the dust, just like all your other games. This is why Trion are notorious for this. But it was so amazing that Trove never had this problem. Arcage day 1 died. Devilian day 1 died because it was pay to win. Same with Arcage, by the way. Rift is extremely pay to win now once they went free to play. And then Defiance, I have no clue about that game, to be honest. That game just is never talked about because it's so bad. And then Trove was the one game that they had, which, you know, they had a decent player base. You know, they still have, you know, 10k player peaks. Go to Rift, it's 1k player peaks. Go to Devilian, it's a 600 player peak. Go to the other game, Arcage, it's like a 600 player peak. Trove was the best one, and it took them 6 months, which I've been grateful for, but it's they are starting to dip their fingers in Trove now, which I am so sad about because I support this game. So it's really hard to support a game where the developers don't even care about their players anymore. And they go on to freely admit that they're just in it for the money. If you just go down one more paragraph, you can see they almost verbatim quote, "We are only in this for the money." Like, I'm linking it down below. You could just read it for yourself. So that's it. That's all I have to say about it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You guys can, you know, give it a like or give it a dislike. Just let me know your opinions and stuff. I already know I'm going to get a little bit of hate on it because everyone has their own opinion and they feel entitled to share it onto you even if it does not make sense. So I'm prepared for it. Bring it on. And I will see you guys next time.